Life in general just pulls us in so many different directions to where we really feel like we don't have a lot of time for ourselves. And Nidhi submitted this question to Michelle and I. She says, I have small children, 5 and 2 years old. The 5-year-old is autistic. I spend a lot of time on the road and commute. By the time I'm home, I'm tired. My schedule isn't consistent. I'm just all over the place and have no time for myself. And I think we can all relate to just all the different things that fall on our plate of life. And so, but we've got some tips for you.
Yes, we do. And Nidhi, I just want to say that I'm a mom and I only have one child, and I know motherhood is hard. Being a mom is hard. Having more than one child is even harder. And when you have a child that really needs extra attention and care, it can be really, really exhausting, and it can make it really hard to find time to do anything else in your day that is important to you. I do have friends who have 3 or 4 children, and some of their kids happen to be special needs children, and it's hard for them to find life and work and personal time balance. However, I do want to say that you do matter. And having time for yourself is really important because you do need to recharge those batteries. You do need to have a chance to get more energy so you can help your children. You can be there for the children when you are at home. You can have more energy and be more efficient at work. And so I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can do that even when you don't have time. You mentioned that you have a long commute. So that time could be your mom time. You could pop in your favorite CD and listen to it. You could even buy an audiobook and listen to it, or an audio app, because there's a bunch of them that play books, and you can just choose your favorite book and listen to it on the way to work, on the way back from work. The whole idea is to make your commute relaxing instead of stressful, instead of thinking about all the things that you have to get done, to just say, okay, as soon as I shut this door, this is my own private time. I'm just going to enjoy my drive, no matter how annoying and obnoxious it is. So that's one thing you can do. Another one is just going to the mailbox. When you come home and you go and get the mail, don't drive by it. Actually physically walk to pick up your mail. And on the way to and on the way back, take 5 deep breaths. Deep breathing does help to reduce stress. And it can help you feel like you just got a little boost of energy. And that is very important. And lastly, I think one of the most stressful things as a mom, and especially as a woman, if you are the cook in the house, is the responsibility of providing healthy meals for your family. And that can be really, really stressful. However, you can reduce that stress by making healthy food convenient, making it so when your kids want to reach for a snack, they have bananas on hand, or they have grapes, or they have apples, or berries, favorite fruits, instead of reaching for candy. So those are things that you can do just to help you get a little bit more me time and feel like your life isn't just taking so over that you literally have no time for yourself. And in relation to that, since we know that your question is related to weight loss, I want to give you 3 tips on how you can lose weight even when life is so overwhelmingly busy. I think the first one we kind of covered a little bit in the idea of making fiber foods convenient. Make fiber food convenient. Make sure that it's in a place where you can reach for it and use it as quickly as possible. Now, sometimes it may not be as easy as reaching for a bar, for example, but you can still grab an apple and a tablespoon of peanut butter and have a nice snack. You can still reach for some veggies and hummus and have something quick to eat for the kids while you're getting dinner on the table. So these are ideas that you can do. So I'm going to list for you some of those fiber foods that I mentioned. Make sure that you have plenty of fruit on hand. It can be frozen fruit and it can be fresh fruit. Just make sure the frozen fruit does not have added sugar to it. Most of them don't, but some do, especially if they're like in those smoothie pack mixes. Those usually tend to have added ingredients, and you just want the fruit. Secondly, buy veggies and chop them up. That takes time. So if you don't have time to chop up veggies on the weekend, go ahead and just buy one of those platters that has already chopped up veggies. And instead of using the dressing, have the kids use hummus or make your own avocado at home and have them eat that with it. Or even make your own salsa. The idea is to make a dip that is full of fiber foods that they can enjoy. Another great one would be like a white bean dip. They can be really, really yummy. You can give it an Italian flavor. You can give it more of a Greek style flavor. You can play around with it. You Google recipes on the internet and you will find plenty. So you have the fresh veggies, the fresh fruit. Third, the freezer section of your grocery store is full of steamable packs. I love steamable packs. And I think you do too, Amy, right?
I do. And it's really, I mean, it's very cool that just the amount of that section in the freezer section of the grocery store is getting bigger.
Yes.
It's not just the one door or two door thing anymore. Now it's like multiple ones. So more and more options are showing up there. So don't knock the freezer section. It's still just as good as really as fresh.
Yes.
Just, kind of like with the sugar, you're just being more mindful of other things that are added to it. But if that helps you get it on the plate, well, then great. That's, definitely a great step.
Most definitely. And you can find all kinds of things. You can find vegetables, you can find grains, you can find brown rice, and you can find quinoa, both of which are high fiber foods. So get them. Instead of taking 15 minutes to make quinoa, it'll take you a minute to 3 minutes in the microwave. Use them. Use those grains to create meals. Use those vegetables to add fiber to your plate. It's easy and it doesn't have to take a long time. You can even find beans that way. And if you can't find beans in the freezer section, though, that you can always find edamame, you can always find lima beans, and a lot of times you can even find black-eyed peas. It's not, I think it may depend on the region of the country, but I think you can find it year-round in the South for sure. So those are some beans that you can find in the freezer section that you can just, defrost or add to soups or add to various other things that you might be cooking at the house. And then lastly, but also very important, is stock your pantry with canned beans. Canned beans are amazing. First of all, they are a good source of protein that's really good for your kidneys. And secondly, they're also a really good source of fiber. And so they will help you fill up and it will help you stay full for a long period of time after you eat. So add those to your veggies, add those to your grains, and that is one way to have convenient food on hand that you can really throw something to eat together in about 15 minutes. As long as you have those, you're pretty much set as far as making food convenient. So that's the first one, make fiber food convenient. Secondly is invest in a crock pot or an Instapot. It's really up to you. I know Instapots tend to be a little bit more pricey. You don't even have to get the Instapot brand. Mine is a knockoff. It's like some Walmart brand. I don't even know what it is, but it does the job just as well. And you can still use it to throw grains in there, beans. It'll make soups. It'll make stews. It'll make all kinds of things, potatoes. You can throw that food in when you go to work and just start it. And when you come back, it'll be done. Same with the crock pot. So the idea is that it takes away the time that you have to spend in the kitchen. It really shortens it, and you can still have something healthy to eat instead of relying on stopping on the drive-through and grabbing something for the family when you get home. So again, just make sure that you have something that helps you cook healthy meals really, really fast. I know some people even like rice cookers. They cook a lot of different things just in the rice cooker. So those three things, if you don't already have one, invest in one. The crock pots are really inexpensive. You can get one for about $12 right now. So go ahead, invest in one and start using it. And then lastly, find ways to move and be active without necessarily going to the gym and exercising. I know that is a huge obstacle for most people, and it's a huge obstacle when you have two kids because you have to find daycare for them. And even though some gyms offer daycare, I know as a mom, sometimes I don't want her just sitting down and watching TV for the whole time that I'm working out. And so maybe going to the gym isn't an option, and maybe you don't even have the time for it. That's okay. You can still find ways to be more active. It can be as simple as parking in the furthest parking spot from the door when you get to the office. Same with when you go to a grocery store or the mall or when you go anywhere. And speaking of the mall, just take a few extra minutes to walk a little bit longer when you're at the mall. Take the stairs instead of taking the elevator. When you're at work, instead of sending an email or calling a colleague, get up at least twice a day and walk to their desk and then walk back. And then lastly, if you can wing this, this will have a huge impact on weight loss. That is walk, stroll, so not really fast, just walk very slowly for about 15 minutes after you eat. You can certainly do this at the office just by taking your half an hour lunch break and taking 15 minutes to eat, and then go ahead and just walk. If it's cold or rainy outside, you can just walk inside the building. I know it'll feel awkward socially, and you may have to explain it to some coworkers, but you know what? A lot of people get curious and may even join you after a while. So you'll be, having social time as well. So go ahead and try strolling after your lunch meal. If you can wing it after dinner with the kids, that's a great way just to get your kids active. I've started doing that with my daughter, and I take her, she goes on a bike ride because she doesn't like walking. But I get to walk, and she rides her bike through the neighborhood, and it's nice. It gives you time together that you spend together, and it's really good for their health too, not just yours. If you have a dog or I guess any other pet doesn't really like being walked. But yeah, if you have a dog, then take your dog for a walk as well. So those are some ideas to try on how you can incorporate more activity throughout the day. And again, the 3 tips to try is to make fiber foods convenient, invest in a kitchen appliance that's going to help you cook much faster, like an Instapot, crock pot, or a rice cooker, and fit more activity in your day without necessarily exercising, going to the gym.
That's so true. And Nidhi, we hope that you really do make it important to put yourself first. That way we help others better that way too, whether it's our children, our spouse, loved ones, just other important people in our lives. So, doing that is definitely going to help your weight loss as well, which of course is a goal of yours. So definitely, maybe pick one to try first. See how that goes, and then add another one to it. And, try this over the next month or so. And then let us know how it goes. We want to know. So just, find this video, comment below. So I hope these tips help you. And thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing those.
Sure. Bye, everyone.
See ya.